Yes, you're welcome to this session. My name is Wilber Kivekayunga. I'm a lecturer at Nkumba University. I would like to welcome you to this session. And this session, we are going to look at corporate social responsibility. This is the second session. That is the first session where we looked at the meaning of corporate social responsibility. However, we are going to look at the review of the previous session before we continue. Corporate social responsibility that we had earlier on looked at and said that corporate social responsibility is an obligation that an entity as a company or an organization undertakes so that there is welfare and well-being of the society. So we observe that organizations cannot afford to live in isolation. They've got to respond to the social and economic needs of the society beyond making sales and beyond marketing for sales, for increasing sales and profitability. The community is undergoing a multitude of challenges, and these challenges needs some organizations to respond to, and that's why we'll see that an organization, after observing that there are community challenges such as education, it could be issues of natural disaster, could be issues pertaining to sporting activities, could be issues of natural resource depletion that can affect the community. And when these necessities are not responded to, the community suffers. And when the community suffers, the company this organization also suffer along, because the community cannot be entirely detached from the organization, and the organization cannot also be detached from the community. So the two have got to run together. That's why when there are challenges in the community, the organization should respond to these challenges in what we call corporate social responsibility. So in this session, we are going to take an example and taking a case of MTN as our organization, and then we're going to look at how MTN is responding to community challenges beyond the selling of airtime, and then selling of data and selling of gadgets related to data, gadgets and the telecom equipment to the community. So here we're going to focus at MTN as our core organization and as our case study. Let us see some of the historical background of MTN. MTN originated from South Africa, and in South Africa it started there in the 1994 as MCell, and this was a build-up company, a company that was built up by support from the government of South Africa, and then later on it adopted the name MTN Group. MTN, in terms of coverage, it is covering over 22 countries in Africa and the Middle East, and all along it is serving about 203 million customers. When we look at MTN in Uganda, for example, MTN started in Uganda in the 1998 in the month of October on the 21st day, and was registered in Uganda as MTN Uganda Limited, a private limited company which is a subsidiary company of the MTN Group. So it was later on licensed by Uganda Communications Commission, and it started to be a fully operating company. It is having over 19 million mobile subscribers. We know very well that Uganda's demographics and the population of Uganda is over 42 million Ugandans, and in that population MTN has a share of over 19 million subscribers. So we can see that in these subscribers are served in using mobile internet, and they are also mobile airtime users. MTN also supplies equipment such as phone and then MiFis and all other gadgets that are used in internet usage and also mobile telecommunication. MTN generally is responding to corporate social responsibility as its obligations beyond simply making more sales revenue and beyond making sure that there is a growing number of customers. MTN is concerned with the community as well. The welfare of the community is a concern of MTN. So in this lecture, we have come up with some of the areas and in our strategic mapping of MTN after having observed what MTN is doing all around the country and all around the other 22 countries where it is operating. And one of the aspects we're looking at here is MTN's response to natural disaster. We observe that natural disasters such as landslides, there is flooding, there are issues of natural disaster all around these countries. Taking an example of Uganda's experience of the landslides in Mbale, MTN had to respond, and MTN has also responded to disasters such as the advent of COVID-19. We saw MTN contributing money and vehicles which were used to help the Ministry of Health in Uganda in response to COVID-19. So those are some of the responses that MTN has done in natural disasters, but also has done in several other areas that you can actually do research and find out. We can also see that culture and heritage are very core and very key for society well-being, and the society is brought together by culture and some tradition. You see that some of the music played in the MTN, either promotions and all gatherings of MTN, and even in your phones and also on posters and billboards, we see that MTN uses drums that are appreciated by culture. We have also seen that MTN has always been supportive of cultural events in Buganda, in Busoga, in Bunyoro, and all around these countries. And where the Kabaka is going, you'll find that MTN is there. And where the king of Busoga was marrying, we saw that MTN was very contributive and supportive to these events, which are social in nature, but also very culturally inclined. We see that the music that is played, MTN is allowing you to upload your caller tunes. You can personalize a tune and then have these tunes listened to all around the countries, and whoever calls you can listen to these caller tunes, which are a community need. The community wants to make sure that all that it wants are taken care on or are taken care of by the company's key infrastructure, especially when it comes to caller tunes and music. There you go, and MTN is having those taken care of. You can have your personalized caller tune and your own style of music or your fashion of music. We also see MTN getting involved in social activities such as the MTN Marathon, and which brings together various people of various facets, and for coming together for an MTN run. And this is one of the biggest marathons we have had in Africa, the MTN marathon, and is the biggest in Uganda. And we see that the money collected from these marathons is used to help out communities like Karamoja, construction of schools, construction of hospital, helping out people with disabilities, and those who are underprivileged, running after those who have cancer. So money is distributed to community. This is for the welfare of the general public, so that the community is healthy, and the community's problems are reduced and eliminated by taking action. So the MTN Marathon has been very, very fundamental in having these problems sorted. When we observe, MTN has also not left aside education and sports, even in gaming and entertainment. We've seen that MTN has come up with the infrastructure. For example, the MTN Arena, where we have MTN having an arena which is already set for football, for all gamings, and this is there in Lugogo. And MTN has also been very supportive in having games, which you can have the MTN Go games on your phone. You can play these games. Those are community needs. And then we also see that if, for example, in education, the students have sat their UNEB examinations or PLE, a parent who is far away, who cannot go to school that fast, and can also not go to UNEB to seek for how the child or the son and daughter has performed, then has got to dial a code and send that code, and send a little message having the index number of the student to MTN servers, and then MTN responds with a record of how the student has performed. So where the community would have struggled, MTN is solving these community challenges. We also see that in Ghana, MTN has helped in having what they call the scholarships. Students are given opportunity to go and study, where MTN pays for the entire semesters and the entire course. So the community is able to enjoy the ability to be in school, and also being literate, because MTN is existing, which some of the people who are underprivileged, those who do not have money, would struggle to be in schools. So we have seen MTN constructing some of the schools and some of the hospitals, so that the community is helped. There is also an alternative where we are calling this MTN insurance, the IO insurance. There are also possibilities where the community gets sick, someone gets sick and does not have the money to pay for the hospital bill. So here we see that MTN is coming up to be helpful. Those members who have subscribed for the insurance are actually, their bills are paid off, and then they are able to go ahead working after being hospitalized. But there are also loyalty points which are given to the community as a bonus. When you dial *141, that code, you can see that you can actually get points, which points, these loyalty points can be used to buy airtime. You can use these points when they have accumulated to convert them for data. You can also use them to buy goods in the market, in supermarkets, and also pay bills. And paying bills, those are points that MTN is giving back to the community as a social, as a corporate social responsibility. When it comes to more cash loans and airtime loans, in the earlier years, when you do call someone and then it happens that you don't have enough airtime, you would receive a message that your airtime is low, so please recharge. But nowadays, when you're running out of airtime, MTN says your airtime is low, please dial *1, a code that it gives you for you to activate and borrow airtime. Instead of telling you to go and buy, now you need you have an immediate need of having the airtime. So let it be you borrow the airtime and then after pay later. So those are alternative of responding to community challenges. I'm in a situation where I have the money to buy airtime, but I don't have the mobile money agent around me to buy airtime. So I can borrow. Then when I get to the mobile money agent and load, I will be paying back. So those, even those with the Momo, I can borrow for extra money, and then they can be able to pay their bills. There are also sometimes where you're celebrating your birthday, and it comes that you are celebrating your birthday. MTN is sending you a message as a response to your social relation, as a social relation with you, and at the same time it gives you a bonus of some MBs on your birthday. So, and even airtime, you can call friends, you can now chat, even if you had run out of some MBs, some data. That day of celebration, you'll be having data to communicate to friends and all around. You'll see there are also some benefits on Freaky Friday, which you can find out and see how you can use them and optimize them. But for now, we also looking at MTN collaborations with hospitals and clubs, hotels and schools, with URA, with Umeme, with those involved in other organizations that are involved in telecom. You can, for a case of Uganda, you can see GoTV, you can see MoTV, you can see StarTimes. MTN is working with them. And it's also working with National Water and Sewage Corporation as well. So as it works with these organizations, it's making them more efficient, so that when you get there, for example, you've gone to a hospital and you have money with you on mobile money, MTN is working with these hospitals to make sure that you can pay money without withdrawing it from any agent. So some of these hospitals and schools, they have models of payments such as mobile money. Others have till numbers. Some in schools you have heard of school pay systems, where you can pay using your mobile phone and pay for hospital bills, school fees. You can pay for your hotel bills and also water bills, electricity, and you can also pay URA and all others. So this is helping the community to be more efficient. Instead of walking around, you're no longer walking around, you're concentrating in your activities and making payment very fast and very easy. This has also been done all around the world, that you can have a transaction of Momo from, you can receive mobile money on your account from US, from UK, from Europe, and all around the world. So that is making receiving money and sending money very swift, as a need of the community. The community needs to have efficient service, and this efficiency, MTN has incorporated it in its services. And even the pay bill, you can pay each and everything very swiftly and very fast. And besides payment, MTN has also got involved in constructing the hospitals, and also improving clinical services and health center for you've seen that in 2015, 2017 and 2018 there are some hospitals in the West Nile that were constructed from the money that was collected from MTN Marathon, and even other activities have been such as water and sanitation. They have worked upon them so that you can easily receive services and swift services. We are able to see that the community has always been struggling on what we call technical breakdown and technical shutdown of their equipment, and such as your phone has broken down, but you bought it from MTN, your MiFi is no longer working well, and yet you got it. So MTN is out there to say, where you've got a technical problem, run to our clinics and our service centers, so that these problems are fixed for you without having to incur any extra cost. So customers for MTN and all the subscribers of MTN are able to enjoy these services without having to pay, because they are already existing customers. MTN is also making sure that there is a distribution of network in areas which are very hard to reach. You find the place is very remote, but MTN network is on. So even where MTN is not able to collect money or collect revenue from sale of airtime or sale of data to such communities, there is network for those visiting those communities. There is network for those who are who want to do some activities. Even though MTN is not able to break even in these communities, the network is available, which is for this case we call that a corporate social responsibility. Otherwise there would not be a mast in those places, because the company is not breaking even in those places. But by corporate social responsibility, these communities are having masts, they are electrified, and then they are also making sure that the network is available and it is really very reliable. We are also looking at MTN's response to the natural environment. MTN is very concerned with how the environment is, and that what is affecting the environment actually also is affecting the community. And when it affects the community, it is affecting the entire economy and the social well-being of the community. And what is happening in the modern times is the problem of climatic change, which is reflected in global warming. And when you see the UN report in the current days, the UN report is indicating that in the nearby months and the nearby months, we are going to experience not what we call global warming, but actually global boiling, which is very, very dangerous. And that in some countries in Africa that are experiencing intense sunshine, you can actually boil an egg and have it boiling an egg on the courtyard using sunlight and using sunshine, which is drawing us to a critical problem which has to be addressed through what MTN is calling zero carbon emission. MTN is working around to reduce the emission of carbon so that the environment is safeguarded. How it is doing this is that it is tending to migrate and is significantly working around and putting all efforts to see that it is no longer using generators that are using fuel and to operate their masts. What it is doing, it is installing solar panels which are environmental friendly and are not emitting carbon into the atmosphere. So using solar panels, and they are also using inverters to save power in times of power outages and road shedding. So that these masts are operating, but operating on inverters, and where the inverters have exhausted power, then automatically switches on the solar supply, power supply, and then where the solar power supply has also used up the power, then they switch on what they have adopted, what they call lead batteries, and these the lead batteries are very, very environmental friendly. So for the use of solar, MTN is even distributing some of the solar panels free of charge to some of its customers, and then is promoting tree planting, wetland protection, and the water resource protection. So you even see that the MTN centers and some of its head offices are using natural resource got from earthen sources, other than using already water that is treated. No, it is promoting clean water usage and natural water protection. So in this session we have looked at the strategies that MTN is employing to have corporate social responsibilities in the community, and these are some of the endeavors that MTN is adopting to have social corporate responsibility a reality in the community and for the welfare of the entire community. We are taking this as a case, but in your research you'll be doing research in finding out how other organizations are undertaking the corporate social responsibilities and what are those activities they are undertaking. Take an example of DFCU. Take an example of DFCU in banking, Stanbic in banking. What are radio stations doing? You take examples such as Capital FM or Radio 1, those radio stations, KFM, and the other radio stations as you may select, also to have them as your case study. What we want to see is that you can, when you're coming up with an organization or a company and you're setting it up, corporate social responsibility should be one of the obligations you've got to undertake and should be planned for, so that the community is built up and the organization is also concerned with the social welfare and the economic well-being. Wilber Kivekayunga, a lecturer at Nkumba University in the School of Education. Thank you. Let us link up in the next session.